Welcome to another episode of Flammulated TV. In this part 2 of growing microgreens in Autopot Tray2Grow, we'll be showing you how we get absolutely gorgeous produce like this. This red amaranth is absolutely stunning. And as for these dun peas, really lush in just over a week. And this stuff's going to last a month in the fridge. So let's have a quick review of what we learned last time. I checked the channel for part 1 if you haven't already. Let's soak those peas, most large seeds need it. Take your trays that come with the kit. Spread your medium, I like to use Bio365. Broadcast those seeds evenly. Make sure you don't have clumps. And get a good soaking, get it nice and moist. There's those peas that we soaked. Spread them over, get them drenched. Place another tray on top as a lid. Then add a heavy book to allow the radical roots to cling onto the substrate.
3 days later.
Then we unstack and place them on the Tray2Grow. We use these extra trays as blackout domes and you can keep the lights off. This encourages the microgreens to stretch, which is what we want to make harvesting easier. We found that 1 day is plenty. It's always smart with Autopots to check that your fittings are nice and secure, finger tight. I also recommend checking the blue silicone on the top and bottom float. Ensure there is no debris, no gunk around these pieces, as it can lead to issues with the gravity-fed irrigation. Once you clip back in, you are now set up to irrigate through the power of the aqua valve from Autopot. Now, as microgreens are planted so densely, you'll need to make sure that you have a fan blowing over them. Otherwise, you will encounter things like mould. You need to have air movement. Alright, let's have a look in here. How we doing? Whoa, we're getting quite a bit of growth here. Peas are looking a little bit slow. Salad mix is absolutely crushing. But what's going on with this red amaranth here? I should have been more careful. I just put too much seeds in one place. So they're all growing over each other and not being exposed to the light properly. They're falling on top of each other. Unlike these salad mixes, they look absolutely gorgeous.
4 to 6 days later.
The adjuster wing is turned down pretty low, but look how much growth we've got. I'm going to let these red amaranth ride, however I will be keeping an eye on them because that is exactly what can lead to mould problems, is when they start dying off on top of each other. So keep your eyes peeled if you do decide to let things roll. We'll still get a good harvest out of it, but speaking of good harvest, check out these dun peas. These make a wonderful base to a salad. I chop them up in about 3s when I'm doing that. You can also take the tendrils and small leaves and use them as garnishes. But check out these roots, absolutely phenomenal, in only about 10 days. The salad mix also showing some really strong growth there. I'd estimate we've got easily a ½ pound of nutritious, tasty food that'll last a long time in the fridge. Turns out that it's just as well we did this video this week, as due to the cold we've had some issues with our salad mix. We would actually have been short for our orders if it hadn't been for the Autopot grown salad mix. Now I'm going to show you how to harvest these microgreens. You want a really sharp knife, nothing blunt round here. A good ski and do will do you well. With your free hand, you want to gently tease the microgreens up with the roots. Then with the sharp knife, you're cutting down low as to not cut into the substrate. Check each fistful to make sure you haven't got any substrate coming up with it. I also like to check for mouldy or anything suspicious in there as I do this. Anything in the least bit suspicious gets given to the chickens or the compost heap. I would advise the day before you plan on harvesting to remove the trays from the Tray2Grow. You want microgreens to dry back a bit before you harvest them, otherwise they can provide far too much humidity inside the container inside the fridge, which can lead to your microgreens spoiling faster than they should. Putting a paper towel at the bottom can help prevent this. Keep your eyes peeled though. Check in after a day and make sure that the paper towel hasn't become absolutely soaking. If it has, replace it. Once we're finished with these trays, we give it to the chickens, the compost pile, the worm bin. Well, would you look at that? 4 ounces out of a pretty small wee tray, not too shabby. People ask us all the time, how y'all eat them microgreens? And we just tell them we'll put them anywhere that we want to add some extra nutrition or some extra flavour. Anywhere we'd have lettuce or spinach, we add microgreens. This lamb had the cilantro on it, it was banging. Breakfasts. I love having a cooked breakfast with the microgreens on there, not just as a garnish, but as something substantial to eat. We even throw it in curries, it just comes out absolutely exquisite. Well, that's it folks, thanks very much for tuning in. I truly believe everybody should be growing microgreens. The amount of food that you can grow in such a wee amount of space, it's just phenomenal. Especially things like peas and sunflowers, over £1 in a 10 by 20 inch area. Micro herbs are another absolute winner to grow. When I start harvesting those basil, you can smell them down the block. They're absolutely reeking, the terps are so loud on them. Micro herbs harvest window can be 3 weeks if you supplement some feeding in there. You can grow in these wee things too. And again, I encourage you to look up the health benefits of eating microgreens. As I like to say, take care of the plants and the plants will take care of you. If you'd like to support myself and our farm, please use our affiliate code FLAM on Autopot, Can and OrganiShield. I'd also encourage you to check out my website, albertautomatics.com. With every seed order, I volunteer 30 minutes of my time in my local community. Thanks very much everyone, Slange.